Driving to the Meadows. I'm going to train solidarity this morning. Just a busy day. This is one of the busiest days of the year for us. I have the 2-year-old pacing fillies in Pennsylvania. We have Millie Girl. We have Sweet Lake, and my name's Wayne. And then I have to get in the car right away after the 9th and head towards Scioto Downs, where we have 3 next generation races, and the 2-year-old preferred now. They didn't fill the next generation, and they went with a $40,000 2-year-old stake race, with preferred positions being for the next generation fillies. I guess a decent consolation prize, if you will, but I still would rather race for the 150, that's for sure. Now, it's just so much going on this year. You know, I tried to wait until I had my drink, and I was chipper this morning, because I am chipper. It just, you know, at some point during the morning, I'm going to have to, as I told you guys the other day, this time of year, every day can be a little overwhelming at times, and you have to take a couple of minutes out of your morning and separate everything, right? Compartmentalize everything. And this morning has to be about solidarity. There's questions to be asked. How was this gait? How did he train? Did he bleed? These are the things that I have to figure out with Tim this morning. When I'm done there, I got a short moment to get my hair cut. Amy said it was not a good day to get your hair cut, but it was the opening I had. And the time slot does fit. Training, haircut, and then off to the Meadows. Full slate of races through to the 9th race at the Meadows, and then we leave and go to Scioto Downs. As I said to Amy too, you know, it becomes overwhelming, and if you don't address it, it sits on you, right? And it gets quite heavy. And I guess life is like that in general, right? We all go through times in life where things are a little heavy. Things are going on outside of racing or outside your family that affect the way you are, and you really have to take stock of that sometimes. You know, I guess that leads to anxiety or depression. You don't know anything about anxiety, do you? Nothing at all. Me, you know, I know when I feel it coming on, I can listen to music, go get something to eat. What's your go-to, by the way? Stewing and getting angry. Yeah. I stew, but I try not to get angry. I feel it coming on, and I try to ward it off best I can, because
construction reported ahead.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I don't want to let that affect my day-to-day life, especially when you're in an industry like this where you have to be on your game. I don't care where you're racing. You have to bring your best every day. Now, that's easier said than done, but you can't let things get in the way of life. Now, I was going to use this in my opening video, but it feels more like a Saturday video to me. Does it feel like a Saturday video to you? It does. We'll call it a tune-up, a warm-up for the opening. Now,
how would you do the opening before racing today?
Well, we'll talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about today's racing tomorrow. You know what? We have 2 8-holes and a 5-hole. At some point, the reality of that is going to have to sink in. And I'm going to have to realize that Tomboy Strong is going to need some luck. As good as I think she is, that's a solid group of fillies, top to bottom. We're going to need a couple of breakers. One of them not be us. Get a decent spot, a decent trip, and have the front end run a little warm. Larry's the best. Larry, it's like, if I did a video at 1:45 in the morning, my old buddy Larry would call me. God love him. You know, I understand that. I understand that these races, Uncle Dan, he might be the pick to win, but he's no cakewalk. They're not at Scioto right now writing the check out and just waiting for the race to happen. It's going to be a horse race. And even highest honors, although he's a long shot, give him the right help, in the right situation. Who knows? You know, there's nothing written in stone. That's why we race these horses, and that's why we love it so much. And this week has been extra taxing, right? It just seems like the thing I don't like, if I know that I have a million things to do in a week, I will find a way to put them into position. I will find a way to deal with them. And I always tell people this, I don't know how you do it, right? I was driving down the road yesterday. I was listening to Ollie's baseball game, and I was talking to Jake and Jacob. And we were talking about the races tomorrow and how I wanted the races to go. We were talking about the races last night, and Jake had said to me, he goes, it's not easy for people to do that. I get that, but I attribute the chaos in my life much like going to the barn and having a couple of caretakers not show up, right? You can complain about it, or you just get it done. Stalls, jogging, putting the horses away. That's what I got you. It's just one of those things. So if you give me 50 things that I have to do this week, and I almost don't have time to do 30, I'll still find a way to get something done. It's the things that pop up.
That's because you have ADHD.
It might be.
It's untreated.
It's untreated ADHD. It's very possible. When I was a kid, right, that was just called being a good worker. now they have to...
Do you finish all tasks?
No, I don't finish all tasks, but I will get a good chunk of most of them done.
I have a checklist.
Do you know what's great is Curtis. I told this story, I'm sure, a few times. So when Curtis worked for me, not many people know this, but Curtis McDonald jogged and trained horses before too. And he lived with me when I lived in Ottawa. And I had to go away for 2 days. And I forget where I was going or what I was doing, but I had to go away for 2 days. And Curtis and I were left doing like 17 horses by ourselves. It was just us two. So now Curtis is going to be asked to do 17 horses, which is impossible. So you think you would get somebody to come and ride, clean the stalls, whatever. I got back, and so we had a couple of speakers and a stereo. The stereo system was hooked up. The speakers were in perfect position in the barn. All the feed tubs were lined up in a perfect row, because that's Curtis. I said, wow, this is amazing, Curtis. How did you do all this? He goes, he said, one day I jogged 8, and the next day I jogged 8. I said, what? He goes, yeah, I just jogged half the barn on whatever, Monday, and half the barn on Tuesday. I said, it's not really how it works, but he goes, I got the speakers set up, the barn looked immaculate. But see, that's how his brain works, right? Whereas mine would be just get them all jogged, put away, the place would be a mess probably the next morning, and I would drag my butt out of bed exhausted. But we all work in different ways, and call it ADHD, call it whatever you want. I don't mind doing 100 things at once as long as I can see them. It's the stuff that catches you from behind, right? The right hook, in the dark, that catches you off guard. I have trouble when I have made up my mind that I'm going to do those 30 things, and then along comes 31 or 34. That's a problem, and that's what gets me. For you, I know it's Cooperstown because we don't know where we're going. We don't know the area. We don't really know much about it. We don't know the other teams. We know where we're staying, but is it close? Right? And we know, we don't know it. For me, I want to know what the restaurants are around the place. What? It's important. It's very important.
I'm just worried that my child is not going to change their underwear and brush their teeth, because I literally...
See, that's a mom thing.
That's literally
for me.
What I'm
if you don't change your underwear, you're just dirty. You don't brush your teeth, you're musty. That's Carney. That's Carney. That's Carney life.
I know, but he just waits to be told all the time.
So, and it's what I told you. At some point, you have to grow up and start learning. He is 11, about to be 12, but at some point, he has to do that stuff on his own. For me,
Can you be in the lane?
I am in a lane. You are seeing the white line over here, and my wheel has not gone over it. No, I might have touched the pylons, but I did not go inside the pylons at all. That guy's speeding. Well, he's speeding. Well, look at him. He's got a car with 3 different doors.
He's probably getting dizzy. Look at, you're over the line.
No, I'm touching the pylons. I am not. Do you want me to put the camera on the forward thing? I'm not inside any pylons. What about you? You're in your nose. How was that? Oh, you have an itchy nose inside your nose? Oh, good thing you had a finger to scratch it. I see it. So, that is the stuff that gets me, right? I know that I'm going to have to go online and figure out where we're going to eat every night. That's your department. That's my number one job for Cooperstown. So this is the stuff that would bother Amy, right? All this stuff. But I am more, okay, we have the horses race day, I'm going to take care of that, get my haircut, I got to train the horse, got to go to Scioto. It's the stuff that gets me right this time of year. A lot of these draws, like next Friday, I told you that I'm supposed to be in Philadelphia. Well, Captain Incredible and all those horses are going to race here next Friday also. So what do I do if Arrowhead Hanover draws 7 and Manhattan Money draws 8? I don't really want to fly to Philadelphia, charge our clients for me to fly to Philadelphia and drag 2 horses with an outside post. And what happens if these horses don't do good? Does that mean that I just jump in the car and go to Cooperstown with you? But then Supermind and Uncle Danny. What's that? Okay, so Uncle Danny, Supermind, and Emerald Tom are going to race Saturday night at Scioto in the Sire Stakes. So Ollie doesn't play ball till Sunday. Do I just get on a plane after Scioto and fly to Cooperstown, and then you're like, well, I don't want to drive to New York. It's a 4.5 hour drive.
No, it's not. It's 6.5.
No, it is certainly not.
Yes, it is.
Isn't. And either way, the biggest problem I have is that if I do fly New Orleans airports, it's an hour and a half Uber, which is about $200 for me to drive from an airport to there. Yeah, that's theoretically.
I'm not even allowed to go in.
Oh yeah, so he gets dropped off on Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh, jeepers, I didn't know that.
Then,
So he gets so for those of you who don't have kids that were in Cooperstown, they stay in a barracks with the other kids and the other teammates, right, and the other teams. They're in this giant Olympic village, so to speak, and we don't see him. We see him on the field, but we don't see him, and I think that's good for him. It's like camp. Think anything else? I forgot about that, so that'll work. Maybe we can. I will tell you what I'll do. I will pick the best airport surrounded by the best food, and we will go eat supper. Saturday. Oh, that might not work because I'm probably not getting in. Yeah, I'm probably not getting in until like 10 o'clock. That's right too. Did I tell you about Nashville Airport the other day?
Yeah.
For those of you who are foodies, this is a Saturday video. I'm just updating everybody on what took place last night and what's going on in our life right now. People are wondering about. Nashville Airport, food's not good. If you're there and you're like when I go to the airport and I know I have time, Detroit has great food. Chicago, better than it used to be. Philadelphia, so-so. There's one restaurant in the main terminal that's okay. But Nashville, there was nothing. So that's the stuff that bothers me, right? Is trying to get away from the chaos. I can take a certain amount, but even I can only take so much. There was a couple of times I did a video this week where I was overwhelmed. I just felt like there was things I couldn't take care of. The Saturday thing is bothering me. Then flying to Kentucky on the Monday is bothering me. Knowing that I'm gone away for 5 days and wondering what's going to take place in that time frame, bothering me. And these are things that I can't really control. So that's me. But as I said, when I know that's coming on, little music, good food, I can usually put things. Why is it so funny to you? I can usually put things in place, polish it all up so that my mind is okay with it. You, on the other hand, right here, your filing system is much different than mine. And it seems like you struggle sometimes to compartmentalize, and then it overflows like the Titanic, the chambers of the Titanic, and boom, you just sink.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, so do you need any good music and some food? It doesn't work?
Actually, I need Tylenol right now.
There's Tylenol right here. I got it just for you, in there, extra strength.
Where?
It's in there because I had 2 of them the other day when I was having a Titanic moment. Anyway, let's talk about, this is 13, 14 minutes of not a whole lot, really. But you know what?
They're used to it.
Well, make sure those are those the extra strength? Because the ones I took the other day were white. Or are those allergy ones?
Allergy Tylenol? That's not.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. They just look multicolored. They look funny.
No, they're 500 milligrams.
Okay, sorry, never mind. Forget I said anything. Now about today, we're off to the races today. We have one of our busiest days. 14 horses, I believe, go to the gate today. I'm not aware of any scratches as of yet. I'm not aware of any issues as of yet. And I'm super intrigued with the lineup. Sweet Lake had a tremendous first start. I'm interested to see what she's going to do. So my name's Wayne. Makes her second start for us tonight. Now, I went pretty easy on her at Northfield Park, and I'm not going to bottom her out today, but she is going to get raced. One of the most one of the most interesting starters of the entire day. Because I know what my expectation level is for the horses in the next gen. And, the only question marks would be Sweet Lake, what's she going to do? Millie Girl, what's she able to do today? But what about, you're missing this one, Leland Hanover makes his first lifetime start today. Very interested in old Leland. I have him under my thumb. I'm watching him for the next little while, and I'm interested to see what Leland's going to do today. A couple outside starters with Tenacious and Patrick. Sean Johnson, is he driving him? I hope he is. He's been driving him. Yep, Sean Johnson's going to drive him again. He's given him some good steers his last 2 times he drove him. Tenacious Hanover, I just want to see an error-free, nice smile from him, right? It's been a little choppy the last few weeks, so let's see if we can get him back on track. A number of horses are racing today. Sweet Lake, my name's Swaney, Leland Hanover, Millie Girl. That will make up the bulk of the card for me at Scioto Downs, or at the Meadows. Then I'll head to Scioto Downs. We'll watch Patrick and Tenacious on the way. And then tonight, we start off tonight with Rock Shining Star. I expect a much better race from Rock Shining Star tonight at Mohawk Park. I told Harry, I got to figure out something to do with JK Victory. And then you have Rock Shining Star, right? And then you have Steady Bulldog.
I think JK's in a Georgian.
Georgian or...
No,
Grand River. Yeah, I told him, he said he thought there was a class there. We just got to get this guy moving in the right direction, and it's easier said than done. Gymboree is going to race tonight at... What are her odds? 8-1, really? Jeepers. Oh, no, that's Rock Shining Star. 9-2. On Gymboree. She's going to race tonight at Northfield. Our lone Northfield starter, our lone Mohawk starter is Rock Shining Star. Then we have Diosa, obviously Tomboy Strong, Uncle Danny, Highest Honors in the Next Generations, and the prep race on the Philly side. We have Save America racing in Charlottetown. Now he's the 5 horse, so it must be a short field. I'm glad that they filled a prep race for the Governor's Plate, because that would have been a little frustrating. And then, of course, one horse we haven't talked about that much, who's racing for $230,000 tonight. Do you know who I'm talking about? Sorry, what? Put that phone away. Time is on my side. Race is tonight for 2:30. Scotty's driving him. He's 10-1 tonight. Now, we have been super fortunate. This is going to be partially part of my opening video this week, talking with the babies, but you must have been happy watching Supermind last night.
Yes.
So Amy trained him a lot. Jason trained him a lot. Who else went with him a lot? Jason went with him a lot. You went with him a lot. Eric went with him a few times towards the end. Everybody had their crack at Supermind all winter long. He's been mildly fractious at times, but mostly good for the most part all winter long. I would say a fairly typical 2-year-old. Went through stages where things just weren't good, and went through other stages where things were very good, and that all culminated in a tremendous race last night. I know it was only a maiden, but at the same time it sets him up this 8 days to his next race, just a slow little easy mile in the middle of the week, and he should be ready to rock for next Saturday evening. I thought he looked very, very good. What were your thoughts on Supermind?
I didn't really know what to expect, but when I saw you in the front, you still looked pretty strong in the last turn. So I was happy to see him fight that horse off. Because, like we were saying before, if he got training, if he got overwhelmed, he did.
But he was a big colt trying to put himself together, and the one thing I told a couple of our clients yesterday, I figured he would win. I didn't know how it would go, and we did scope him afterwards because I said I don't want any surprises next week. No blood. I would say a marginal amount of mucus, but the amount that would be expected. It wasn't outside the norm. The only thing that was concerning, a giant ulcer on his palate. This happens sometimes, and I had a very good conversation with the veterinarian about it. We had just had that work done, a procedure done to get an ulcer cleaned up on Blue Rare, and a lot of times that happens. Those ulcers get swollen, and then you end up with an entrapment. I believe at least that's a contributing factor from where I sit. I'm not a vet; I could be wrong, but it seems like that is what you would see. They run hand in hand, from what I could see, the ulcers, and then they end up leading to, remember the mess it made of Delicious Stone PK, that ulcer that never went away. Now the veterinarian in this case had said, I was very blunt with her. I said, I think this is one of our best horses, and although I don't want to miss much time with him, I need to know your thoughts on this. She goes, I would treat it with minor cortisones depending on the withdrawal times in Ohio, work on with throat spray all week and just go easy with them all week long, which I have no problem doing. I said, I'm just going to ask you as blunt as I can, what would you do? Do you think that this needs to be operated on? She said, I do not think it needs to be operated on right now. I think it'll be fine. Obviously, the horse raced good. Did you hear any noise? I said, there was none. She said, okay, just treat it and reevaluate. So that's what we will do this week with Supermind. It's not overly concerning. The only thing that bothers me is if it persists, right? So that would be the only concern I have. As of right now, there's no talk of it persisting. So the vet believed it was very treatable, very manageable, and I'll take her on face value for now until, as I said, until we reevaluate it and make decisions after that. Now, this week also, listen, we've had a great run. We're going to talk about in the opening all the babies that have done well, everything that is going on. I will continue to talk to people about the babies that we're selling. We sold out travel blog like that. Shares were all gone. Yep, all the shares we wanted to sell were gone within 12 hours. Money's tied up. We put more shares on. I think there was only 24 available for travel blog when we put them live. There was almost 60 available for Money's Tied Up, and this is one gorgeous horse. I know, I'll take it for what it's worth. The photographer taking these pictures is amazing.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, I don't know who you are. I don't know what your name is. I can't place you. You do a tremendous job. That's not to say that these are ugly horses that she made look good. She just made these horses look amazing. And I haven't seen them since last summer with my own two eyes. So take that for what it is. But I'll tell you what, that Money's Tied Up is a gorgeous filly. And obviously a filly we have been waiting a long time for, the first foal from a Glare AM. And I keep telling everybody, I haven't seen the full surface yet, the one they give $230 for. But the one out of Harness AM, her sister, they paid $230 for that Captain
raced.
Corey.
She raced.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's her name? That wasn't the one that...
Something station. She raced, I think she was second or third when you were here.
Yeah, but was I in there? I'll have to look.
I don't know.
I'll have to look. I was wondering that myself when I'd see this filly surface. So, why don't you look her up?
I think she was third in like 59 or something.
Oh, so she was in the Stallion Series?
Yeah, I think.
Could be. Anyway, Iglarium's baby looks great, and I can't wait to get these babies in general into the barn. Travel blog all sold out. Money's Tied Up. I think there was 20-some shares available. And then we'll go to Cloud Rider, which is Path of Totality's baby. Cover My Short is your colt. Cute little fella, too. Holding Pattern, that's the tactical landing at a state park, right?
Yes.
Yep. And then we have Lou Armstrong. That's my Jazz's baby. Good looking horse. That's the one and only Quattro de Julio we've had ever. A good looking horse. Saint Sarah, that's the full sister to Capistrano Knights. And Vinestaff, that is the Centurion ATM colt brother to Tomboy Strong, who's racing tonight. One by one, we'll put these horses up and we'll get these shares out. A lot of people asking about the other horses. I'm going to give, I suspect, I know there's a lot of shares, but I suspect that this filly will sell out probably by midweek. And again, we'll move the next group of horses up. Who will be next?
Handle Station.
Handle Station. How'd it do?
Oh, there's qualifiers.
Oh, it's qualifier. Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, third 59 and 2.
Who trains it?
Lucas Wallin.
Oh, Lucas Wallin has that horse.
So 2 qualifiers, 2 minutes and 59.
I suspect her first race then will be in the
Yeah, why is she
Poconos.
not in?
Probably just some of those people don't like shipping all the way to the Meadows if they're not ready to rock. Remember, the Meadows is close for us, but for them it's quite a ship. So you don't see a lot of those people come here. You can be sure you'll see that filly in. They had like 4 divisions. They'll have 10 divisions at the Poconos. I think it's the Poconos next.
I think said, oh yeah.
Yep. Anyway, we'll get them all up one by one, but although it is chaotic right now, and although, as I said, it is a little overwhelming, I wouldn't change it for the world. This is just one of those things we have to push through. And then when you look down and you see Supermind wins in 56 out of the blue for some people. Maybe not out of the blue for me, but out of the blue for some people. You have Uncle Danny, who's looked tremendous. Jailbird Jog, we haven't even talked yet about Perfect Thought and how good she's looked. I'm not going to go through the whole list. I will do that in the opening. But we have had an absolutely tremendous start to 2025, and I hope we keep it going. Just a quick run through from last night. Really happy with gorgeous package. It's frustrating that you finish 4th, beat 3, and pace 51 in a piece, but that's the reality that we live in these days. Looks like money was good. As I said, he'll bounce back good again next week. I'm sure of that. Foxy Seaside, the only horse that raced bad yesterday, shut her air off.
I was gonna say, did she get parked?
No, she choked. I said to Jason, there won't be a problem. She won't be choked her next start because she'll be back she'll be in the condition claimer that gorgeous package was in last week. There'll be no need. Yes, honey, we're almost there. And that's the only horse that raced a little bit off. Supermind obviously was a winner. Manhattan Money just got beat for second in 55 and a piece, tried at 56 flat. Did you watch Captain Incredible's race? We put the aluminums on. You were wondering if he'd stay sound. That was the best I've ever seen him and the most confident I've ever felt him. If I get away in the 2-hole, I beat that horse in 15 a piece.
Why did that horse get away on you?
Well, because I moved him in the far turn and had to get around Wilbur, and he got the jump on me. If I get away in front of Wilbur and get to follow Dave to the head of the lane, for sure he wins in 50 a piece or 51. He was very good. Still not quite to where we need him to be as we get closer to the Adios, but definitely a huge step forward for Captain Incredible last night. You might not have seen him. You might have said, well, he's already winning. He already paced 51, winning 51. Why is it such a big deal? It's the way he did it. The way he did it was much, much better last night. So very pleased with that. And then, of course, we rounded out tonight with 3-Point Blue Chip. I'm going to let you watch 3-Point Blue Chip's race because you didn't see the entire mile. You saw what we posted under the stable. And what he did in the first part of the mile was very, very impressive. So, with that, do you have anything to add, my dear? Nothing? What are you most excited about today? You got Millie Girl, who you trained a lot. You got all the horses in the next generation. You got Leland Hanover, who I talk about nonstop. Who are you most excited about today? 3-Point Blue Chip races for almost $250,000 in the U.S.
No.
Or in New Jersey?
That's what we said.
Oh, who did I say?
3-Point Blue Chip.
No, he raced last night for much less than $250,000.
Yeah.
He raced for.
I heard you say that statement.
He raced for $240,000 last night.
4 years.
Time is on my side. Races for almost $250,000 tonight. Who are you most excited about? Because you got to cool down now. You starting to simmer down now.
Yeah.
Starting to simmer down. Who are we watching?
I'm excited for all of them.
Yeah, but you got. Which one are you like?
I would say probably Millie Girl.
Millie Girl? I thought you'd say Millie Girl. I know Jacob is also. And I hope she does good. Good place to get horses from. As it turns out, this year we have 8 yearlings to bring in. Plus, we have at least 1, if not 2, from Jacob. And I had a great conversation with Jake from Midland Acres. Do you know? And I guess I assume this is public knowledge. I certainly don't mean to talk at a school, so to speak. But there are over 500 mares in full right now, and the select sale can accommodate 275. Yep. So they are thinking about having a 2-day sale. Now, the reason they're only thinking about it and everybody's not jumping on it on board, they have to have a 2-day sale. But the reason they've been sheepish about it was I was at the last 2-day sale. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The first day was super strong, and the second day was a bloodbath. So there's this huge transition going on in Ohio right
They
now.
need to stop putting it where they put it.
Oh, it's a beautiful facility.
No, not the facility. The time.
Yeah, I don't know what they need to do. I don't really have an opinion on that.
Right before the jogger, right after or something?
I think it's right after, but it's right before Lexington. I don't disagree with the timing in that regard. But yeah, there needs to be changes made. But I said to Jake, I said, when you look at our model and our system, imagine if every trainer, or at least, let's say 10 trainers, worked hard to have hundreds of clients. The accommodation that can be made for the breeders out there in this industry is immense. And at some point, there has to be an institutional push to help our trainers with fractional ownership, because we're going to bring on 40 horses, right? You think of every trainer out there that has less horses than they did a decade ago. That's almost everyone, because it's hard to find clients because our product is not what our normal everyday trainer in industry stakeholder believes it is, right? And I think once we start marketing and advertising it for what it is, an entertainment product, something you can have fun at, and lo and behold, you might make money at it, but I wouldn't count on it. When you start doing that and you start educating your trainers and helping them build their base and build their ability to acquire and procure owners, well, then I think we start helping the foundation of the industry. Because think about it. You have all these horses in Ohio that brought okay money over the last few years. Okay, now double the inventory. Any of you in business, you know where that's headed. So there has to be an institutional push to help out with bringing new clients into the industry also. So that's my 2 cents. A lot of rambling today.
Did they say, though, that how many of those horses would be in Lexington State?
Yeah, that's over and above Lexington and all the other stuff that's going on. He told me he's putting, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I shouldn't talk outside of a conversation like this, but I believe he said he's putting like 30 in the mix sale, in the jug mix sale, like at the end of the season, like in November, like the last sale of the season. He said that's just where they have to go. Not really, no. So, as I said, that's a little rambling today, a little update on the McDonald family. Trying to get Amy's anxiety level down. I think it's Cooperstown. I think that's all this stuff that's right now has been here before. The Cooperstown angle's a little bit different. You know, obviously we're on pins and needles. Want to see our son play and want to see him do good. It's the middle of the summer and all this stuff just jams on you all at once. So it's always good to talk it through, especially in front of hundreds of people. I'm feeling good about it. Are you feeling better now? A little bit better now? We're off to train Solidarity. I'll be there in 30 minutes. On the track at 35, off the track in 40, and then off to start the rest of our day here. I hope you guys are excited as we are. Yes, there's anxiety. Yes, there's a little frustration sometimes, but at the end of the day, this is what we work towards. This is the true start of our 2025 summer. It is an exciting time. It is going to be an exciting day. Whatever happens, win, lose, or draw, this has been a great start to 2025. Correct? Congratulations. As I don't know if we made it clear enough, Amy was the one that actually picked out Supermind at the sale. I picked out Uncle Danny at the sale. And although they're very, very similar colts, we're lucky to have either of them. So, again, good luck to everybody today. We have a lot of horses racing all over the place, multiple countries, multiple states. It should be an exciting day at the stable. Take care.